بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Assalamu alaikum. Today is the 16th of June 2021 and it is Wednesday. And this is our series Reflections on the Holy Quran, and in that series, this is broadcast number 223. We are discussing Al-Baqarah verse 87, and this is the 8th broadcast in that series. Just to remind you that Lahore Ahmadiyya community was created by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, and his teaching was that although other people bring a prophet after the Holy Prophet, some bring an old prophet, some bring a new prophet, so it seems that the only dispute is about the name and not the fact that a prophet will come. Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's teaching was that the Holy Quran says that the Holy Prophet is Khatamun Nabiyyin, and the Holy Prophet explained it by saying, La Nabiyya Ba'di, there is no prophet after me. And he clearly said no prophet, not an old prophet, not a new prophet. And then on inquiry from the companions, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who said that when Israelites used to go astray, prophets used to come to bring them back to the right path. What will happen to the Muslims? And the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallam explained that Mujaddadeen, reformers, will come to guide Muslims. No prophet will come, but Mujaddadeen will come. And he claimed to be one such Mujaddad. His only distinction was, he said, that the two great personalities prophesied by the Holy Prophet Muhammad, the Messiah and the Mahdi, those were titles that the Holy Prophet used for him. Messiah because of his work against Christianity, and Mahdi because he was to lead Muslims to the right path. And this was what was said on his tombstone until it was removed. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, chief of Qadian, Mujaddad of the 14th century, the promised Messiah and Mahdi. So, Hazrat pointed out that yes, there is a difference of interpretation and so on, but that doesn't give anyone the right to call another person a kafir or a heretic. He clearly said, referring to a hadith of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, that if one reciter of the kalima calls another reciter of the kalima a kafir, this title, epitaph, whatever you want to call it, turns back to the caller. It turns to the caller. So, and then there are people who say that all the prophetic revelation that the Holy Prophet received is not in the Holy Quran. For example, some say Ayah Rajab is missing from the Holy Quran, some say Surah Malayat is missing from the Holy Quran. And Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, he said, nothing is missing from the Holy Quran. All the prophetic revelation that the Holy Prophet received through Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam is with us in the form of the Holy Quran. Similarly, people say that some verses of the Holy Quran are abrogated, are cancelled. And there's a big debate about Nasakh Mansukh and so on and so forth. And Hazrat Saab said that this is untrue. Hazrat Shah Waliullah Rahmatullah Alayh, he says that he researched these over 500 verses, and his opinion is that 7 verses are abrogated only. But Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib and Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ali said no verse of the Holy Quran was, is, or ever shall be abrogated. And you see, you notice how in everything Hazrat Sahib returned either to the Holy Quran or to the sayings of the Holy Prophet Muhammad. For example, let's take doctrine of jihad. Hazrat Sahib said, jihad is a duty of every Muslim. But he went further. He said we have to see what is the definition of jihad given by the Holy Prophet Muhammad. And he pointed to a hadith of the Holy Prophet that when returning from fighting, he said, from the minor jihad, we now return to the major jihad, and then explain that the major jihad is a fight with your own negative emotions and desires, your own what's called the self, such as trying to control your greed, your jealousy, your envy, your hatred, injustice, because that means that your parents or your children or someone will somehow benefit from you lying or cheating. So, with that, let us turn to this topic that we have been discussing, which is chapter 2, verse 87. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولقد آتينا موسى الكتاب وكفينا من بعده بالرسل وآتينا عيسى ابن مريم البينات وأيدناه بروح القدس أفكلما جاءكم رسول بما لا تهوى أنفسكم استكبرتم ففريقا كذبتم وفريقا تقتلون. And we indeed gave Moses the book, and we sent messengers after him, one after another. And we gave Jesus, son of Mary, clear arguments and strengthened him with the Holy Spirit. Is it then that whenever there came to you a messenger with what your souls desired not, you were arrogant, and some you gave the lie to, and others you would slay. So today we are going to try and look at three words: Ja'akum, Rasul, and Lahwa. So let us turn to that. Where are my notes? There we are. So the first word, its the root is Jim Ya Hamza, and I keep repeating that Hamza is what we say in Urdu is Alif. So this root, derivations from this root occur in the Holy Quran 278 times. And well, in fact, I say derivations, which is incorrect. They're not derivations. The word itself, for example, Ja'akum came to you. Ja'ahum came to them. So the word Ja'a is the same, but in one case there is one pronoun, and in another case there is another pronoun. So all through it's used in that sense, with that meaning. So I'm desperately looking for further notes on this. Oh, here we are. So, and it is said that this is synonymous with al-ityan, which means to come. And we saw that it means the same thing. But generally, another word, maji'a, is used more commonly compared to ityan. Because ityan means something that comes with ease. And one thing that one extra meaning that it also includes is that if you decide to do something, and although you may not do it for some reason, that's still covered by that. But the other word, majiyun, that will be used when you decide to do something, but you have actually done it. Now, the Quran says, Baja'a min aqfal madinati rajulun yas'a. Chapter 36, verse 20. That someone came running from the other end of the town. So you see that word was used. Or وَلَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ يُوسُفُ مِنْ قَبْلُ بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ. And Yusuf came to you with signs. Now here's an interesting one. وَلَمَّا جَاءَتْ رُسُلُنَا لُوطًا سِيءَ بِهِمْ. Chapter 11, verse 77. When our angels came to Lut. Now, what was the word used here? Rusuluna. One are messengers. So here the word messengers is being used for angels. So here's another verse of the Holy Quran, chapter 10, verse 76. فَلَمَّا جَاءَ humul haqqu. That truth has come. This is not physically anything coming, but truth has come. let's see, that's about it. So let's go to the next word, which is Rasul. And we talked about Rasul. Let me check my notes. When did we talk about Rasul? On 7th of June, this was broadcast number 217. And we spent over half an hour just discussing this word. So the root of this word is Ra Sin Lam, and it occurs 513 times in the Quran in 8 different forms. So it has 8 different meanings. 332 times it's the word Rasul that we know, Rasulullah, God's messenger. 130 times as a verb, arsala. So previously 332 times was the noun, and then what else is there? 35 times mursal, mursal, and then with other meanings. So in verb form it means to send. Inna arsalnaka bil haqqi. We sent you with the truth as a warner, bearer of good tidings. Kama arsalna, we sent. So this is means send. But then as noun as well. So risalati rabbi, that means revelation, God's messages. And in that form it's used quite a few times. Risalatillah, etc., but 5 or 6 times. And then his message, again, noun. But this is not being used as a human being now. And then bir rusuli, it means human messengers, what we also call prophets, but it also applies to the angels, the malaikat. And so let's have another look at it. Right. Its basic meaning is that after an impediment has been removed, to walk gently and slowly and softly. So naqatun, rislatun is the word used or the name given to a she camel that walks in this way. So Rasul bears the same sort of sense, that the one sent. But sometimes Rasul is used only for God's command. If you look at chapter 9, verse 128, لَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ رُسُلٌ مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ. So people from among you, a Rasul came to you. And then we have Rasul and we have Rusulun. Rasul is the singular. So Rusulullah, that also means angels. Innahu laqawlu Rasulin Kareem. Chapter 81, verse 19. This that is the Holy Quran, was the message delivered by the honored angel, Rasulin Kareem. Here, Gabriel is called Rasulin Kareem. And then you have Inna Rusulun Rabbika Lain Yasilu ila, chapter 11, verse 81. And we've been sent by your Lord, Rabbika, your Lord. And these people will not be able to get to you. Walamma ja'at rusuluna Luta, chapter 11, verse 77. When the angels wrote that message. So you can see it can mean a prophet, as in Wama Muhammadun illa Rasulullah. It can mean the message itself. It can mean angels. It can have a number of different meanings. But one thing I want to make clear here, and that is that some people say that because prophethood has ended, God has stopped speaking to human beings. That is not correct. What has ended is prophetic revelation, but God still speaks to people, and there are examples in the Holy Quran of this. For example, an angel went to Mary and spoke to her, and then the Quran says that the mother of Moses received wahi, the hayna. That's the word used here, which means revelation. So God does speak to non-prophets. You don't have to be a prophet. But prophetic revelation is something separate and distinct that has now come to an end. So the next word is ahwa, and its root is hawa ya, and it occurs in the Holy Quran 38 times with 5 different meanings. So it has 5 different forms, 17 times as ahwa, and 11 times as hawa, and 8 times as hawa. The difference is that hawa ending is with a hamza, and hawa ending is with a ya, which is not so prolonged. Then we have havia, which means the pit. And people say that stands for hell, etc. So it basically stands for our desires, human desires. That's what it stands for. And it can be that someone gets so involved in these desires that they fall from grace and they fall into what's called havia, or hell. Its literal meaning actually is to fall from a high place, fall to a lower place. But it also means something, some people say it means something that is empty, and something that is in distress. For example, they say chapter 28, verse 10, it refers to the mother of Moses and how she was distressed by what was happening. So, to get back to this, Afara Aita Manitta Khaza Ilaha Hawahu, chapter 45, verse 23. Have you seen the person who worshipped his desires, who became a slave to his desires. Wattaba, wattaba hawahu. Chapter 18, verse 28. Do not become a slave to your desires. Do not just follow your desires. And again, chapter 2, verse 122, the warning about what will happen if you follow other people's desires. Again, chapter 45, verse 18, وَلَا تَتَّبِعْ أَهْوَاءَ الَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Don't follow the foolish people in their desires. And this is like, your neighbor gets a color television, you want two color televisions. Your neighbor gets a car that's 1800 cc, you want a car that's 3000 cc. Just to outdo him. Envy, jealousy. Again, وَلَا تَتَّبِعْ أَهْوَاءَهُمْ وَقُلْ آمَنْتُ بِمَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ. Chapter 42, verse 15. And don't follow the desires of the Jews and the Christians, because they lead you astray. But as I said, its basic meaning is that something that falls down, and from that the word havia or pit or hell is coined. So, anything else? Yes, it means to actually cowards are also the word used for a coward, because his heart is empty of courage and bravery, um, and so on. So in Surah Najm, God says to people that rather than following their own desires, they should follow God's revelation that has been sent to them through the Holy Prophet Muhammad. So with that, we come to an end of today's broadcast. And I leave you with a prayer that whoever you are and wherever you may be, may Allah keep all of you safe and sound and free from harm. Assalamu alaikum, Khuda Hafiz, and goodbye.